Hi, I'm Carrie. Welcome to my channel. We are continuing on with what's in my tarot cabinet with episode 6, I believe, because I was wrong on the last episode. So I think this is episode 6, and we're still on the tarot shelf, the second tarot shelf. So I think what I'm going to show today are some of my favorite tarots, and then I'll see what the time is, and maybe I'll show a few more too. So we're going to start out with this one, my Trine True, yeah, light Seers Tarot, and I even picked up the little pocket edition this year. Oh my gosh, I love this tarot so much, so much. And I edged mine in like a tealish colored blue, and I hope the lighting is okay. It is so dark and rainy and dreary here. The only light source is my overhead, and so there's probably going to be a lot of shadows, so I apologize for that. But anyway, this deck is just a favorite of mine. I used it to death when I first got it in. Oh my God, this devil card is my favorite of any devil card in any deck. I would leave with that man in a minute. I'm just saying. But anyway, I couldn't believe the love-hate relationship I had found in the tarot community around this deck, because I think this deck is everything. Not fond of this, but I kind of get what it is. You know, I don't know what to say about the cards, but I love the images on it. I love how the scenes are depicted, and I guess the little different take that I get when I read with this deck and some of these images. Oh my gosh, I love this Three of Cups card. It's just beautiful. It's one of my favorite cards in this deck. So yes, everybody knows this one. I mean, everybody's talked about this one to death, I think. The next one I'm going to show, because they're in no particular order. And this is the Tarot of Curious Creatures that I swore to myself I was never going to get. I've said that in every video, I think, that I've shown this deck in. But oh my God, this is like one of my favorite decks now. These creatures speak to me in such a way that is like so plain and clear, and brings this whole other, like, I don't know, I just feel differently when I read with this deck. Like they are actually speaking to me. I don't know how else to say that. That sounds so dumb, but it's true. When I have these cards out and I'm looking at it and reading with them, it's just like they're just telling me how it is, telling me what the story is, you know, and so on. And I just love this deck so much. I have a video on, I think it's one of my Let's Read Tarot videos, where I talk about using this deck in a path spread, you know, which path should you take, and how well it works for that. So one of my favorites. Another top favorite of mine is the Tarot of Mystical Moments. And the funny thing is, when I first got this deck in, I wasn't sure. I don't have the Oracle. I was never drawn to the Oracle, which is odd because it's kind of like, you know, my thing. I never did pick that one up. And then I saw this one, and I got it, and I wasn't getting along with it when I first brought it home. And I just thought, this deck and I aren't going to get along, and I'm not going to understand, you know, how to read it. And then I just had to let go. There were certain things I felt like I was just trying to force into happening with these cards. And I did. I just had to let it go and let it be what it was going to be. And then once I did that, this deck and I got along fine. And then it became very quickly a favorite. And I was pulling it out constantly to use it and read with it. And I really, really do love it. You know, it's the glossy cardstock. It's a little big for, you know, a tarot, but that's okay. I love everything about it. I think I say that on every single deck that I've shown now in 6 videos, but I guess I wouldn't own them if I didn't love them. So the next I'm going to show is the Tarot Muha, I believe is how you say the name, by Los Scarabeo. And I fell in love with this deck as soon as I bought it. And I didn't really see anybody talking about this deck. This is the only card I don't like. This crazy looking Judgment card. But everything else is just beautiful. And as soon as I started reading with it, automatically it became talk to my guides, talk to my angel deck. Just automatically. They were just speaking so well through this deck, especially like connecting to some of that archangel energy. I don't know why. I absolutely don't know why. And I started doing all kinds of readings with this, back and forth with, you know, some archangel guidance. I have a couple angel decks, but it's this one. It's this one that I pull out for that. This also is, for some reason, is like a very gentle deck for me. It just feels very gentle and loving. It might be the color palette that makes it seem that way, but whatever it is a very gentle and loving deck for me. And when I need that comforted support, this is the one that I pull out. Another favorite is this one that's brand new this year for me. And this is, I don't have the box because the box is huge, but this is Tarot of the Enchanted Soul. I picked this one up after seeing it on Lisa Pepez's channel, and I think she's decluttered hers, but I love it. I really do. I love the images on here. I can just feel myself having a one-on-one conversation with the characters on this deck. Love this guy. So I cut the borders off of it because it was ridiculously large. Ridiculous. That was my only complaint about this deck. And it's still on the bigger side, but I can handle it a little better with all the, you know, borders and everything cut off of here. And oh, I was like, what is going on? I forgot. Let me fix this. So I was using this deck actually, which I was just getting to. I was using this deck. Oh, what's that called? The Ancestral Grimoire. And you were supposed to like separate out a deck, pull a certain number, pull a court card for this, and then something from the minors, and then something from the majors, and that's why I'm like, why is it separated like that? Yeah. So I was using this with my Ancestral Grimoire book, and it really helped me connect, believe it or not, because it doesn't look like an ancestor deck necessarily. Because when I think of ancestor decks, I think of something old. I think of something worn, vintage. Certain images are in it. None of that, but yet for some reason, this fantasy type vibe or whatever to these cards really connected me to the ancestors for my ancestral grimoire, and I love it. Now I'd like to get back to using it in a regular fashion. The next one that I kind of used for ancestor work, I've used this for all kinds of readings. I love this deck, and that is the Dreamkeepers Tarot. Man, this deck is something, and that whole dreamy, take you to like another realm vibe is kind of what I get from this. So it's perfect when you're trying to pull in that ancestor energy, and that's kind of some of the readings that I've been using it for. But I've used it for other readings too. I've used it to interpret dreams, actually, and anything. I used it, but I really keep it for myself. I will say that. Like, I've kept the Tarot Muha just for me. I want to say I haven't read with clients with this one, but you know what? Now that I say that, I'm not sure. But yes, this, love it. And when I didn't really like it, it was another one that I didn't really like when I first got in. I got to fix my bag. My little wrap thingy is hanging on by a thread, literally. So the next one I'm going to show is the Rosebud Tarot, and I'm only going to show this very briefly. This one is in order because this is the one I was using for the Drop 'em 78 challenge that I am actually sticking to. I just quit posting about it online. That became tedious. I really think this challenge needs moved to a different time of the year, but you know, I'm not in charge of it. So, but using this in that challenge has really made me discover some of the things on the cards that really relate to the Rider-Waite meanings, because when you look at some of the cards, it doesn't look like your traditional Rider-Waite cards. And so that's why I picked this for the Drop 'em 78, because I really wanted to explore why these images were chosen and how I felt when looking at these images. And it's made a big difference. So, and it's really made me like this deck. And so yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad I bought it, and I'm glad I'm doing that challenge with it. And my next one is the Touchstone Tarot. I fell in love with this tarot. I think I saw this talked about on, I think it was like the Three Fat Readers maybe talked about this tarot. And then I saw it some other places, and I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't like all the borders. I have really considered maybe chopping off the top and the sides. I'm still in the considering stage of that, but I used this 1 month for readings, and wow, I never expected to connect to these images like I did, because they're from paintings and stuff. And so what I get from it was, you know, intuitively, just from looking at this, I really enjoyed. So yeah, it's a great reader. Again, I think I'm saying that with all these decks, but this is a big favorite of mine. Now this one blew me away that it even came into my collection, that I purchased it, and that I actually fell in love with it. And that is the Anna K. Oh my gosh, I've said 100 times, every time I've talked about this deck, I wasn't getting this deck. This deck was just not my thing. I couldn't stand the faces in this deck. And it was just one of those things that was like plaguing me. It would not leave me alone. I finally purchased it. I started doing a couple readings with it, and I was like, what? And then it just became my go-to. My go-to favorite. This is another one I like to pull out for ancestor readings. This is another one I like to pull out if I want to talk to like one of my grandparents, which I guess, you know, is ancestor. But it's really, really, really a great deck. But I heard, now I don't know any of this, if this is true, and I didn't search it up, but someone was talking on another video that this is out of print. Is that true? I mean, I can't believe that this deck is out of print. I mean, because it needs to come back so everybody can have it. If it is. Maybe they're going to redraw the faces in it. I don't know. If they did, I'd pick up another copy because I like this deck so much. It is so stinking good. Everything about it. Weird faces, bodies, and all. It is so good. This quickly became a favorite, or a favorite Rider-Waite deck, is the Weiser Tarot. By Waite and Smith, Arthur Edward Waite and Pamela Coleman Smith, because I like the recoloring, I guess, of it, the watercolorish vibe that's with this deck. I really do. I enjoy it. And so when I've been wanting to use a Rider-Waite or a Waite Smith deck, this is the one that I've been pulling out and using. I was using this for a while to reference the image on it compared to the Rosebud Tarot, and I think I said when I showed on here before that I had wanted Jamie Sawyer's one deck where she had redone the Rider Tarot with the watercolor, and I ended up picking up this one instead, and it's, you know, it serves the purpose. So another favorite that I forgot to show with my independent decks is my Monstarot travel size edition. For being a travel size edition, this is actually the perfect size. This is so cute, and I wasn't sure what kind of readings I was going to do with it, but I wanted it anyway. And then when the pocket edition was in her shop, I just thought, yes, I'm going to pick this, or travel edition, I'm sorry. I'm going to go ahead and pick this up. What it ended up becoming is the deck I use, that I have been using to read for my son, or to read, I guess, you know, do readings about my son, you know, things that we're working through or anything along those lines, or if he asks me for a reading, this is the deck that I use. It is fabulous for that. It's almost like it was made for a connection between me and him through this deck. And I don't know, I found that really fascinating, that this is the one. Now he's going to be 19 here very shortly, but yeah, this is the deck that like kind of connects us, that gives me that energy of him. This, I don't know, I think this is him in a deck, honestly. But that's what I've been using it for, and I just adore it. Absolutely adore it. I guess these next set of decks fall in my, I don't know what to call them. I guess a little kitschy type decks, maybe. I don't even know. That may not be the right thing. So they're either like based on a TV show, have a lot of sass to them, or are, I guess, a little modern, my modern type decks. I don't know. It's a little bit of everything mixed in. So we're going to start with which one here? We're going to start with this one. This is my Housewives Tarot. I didn't have very many decks when I first got this, so it was used quite often. I haven't used it much recently because I have a lot, as you can see by episode 6 of decks. So, but I love it. There's something about this vintage 1950s era, whatever, images that I kind of like, and I like reading with them. This deck is so sassy and in my face, and I love that. There's that other deck that's newer. What's it called? Retro Posters? Because I know I showed the Pulp Tarot, and I love that one. I would really like that other indie deck. I think it's called Retro Posters, but I don't know if that's correct or not. Yeah, anyway. So yeah, these 1950s style images, they just, I don't know, they speak very well to me. You'd think, I don't know, maybe because it reminds me of my grandparents and, my parents a little bit. So maybe that's why, but I love it. I really don't know. I swear I think gremlins have gotten to my cupboard and just done whatever they wanted to with these decks, that they're all backwards and forwards and everything else. So let me know if you have this deck and what you thought of it. I think it's brilliant. The next one that is kind of sassy, definitely sassy for me, and that is my Golden Girls Tarot. I love this deck so much. No guidebook or anything with this. I don't even know if this one is still in print. I don't think the Friends one is. But I've said before on here, I used to watch this series, and when I read these cards, I can hear these women. I can hear them. And their voices come through in the meanings of these cards, and it adds like this whole other layer for me, and I love that. Some people may find that distracting, where you're like associating like the TV show or whatever with the reading, but for me it like enhances it almost, because like I said, I can hear their voices in these cards. I like to use this deck when I need a kind of in your face, this is what's going on, get the heck out of your own way type of reading, where they're not going to pull any punches with me and tell me to stop wallowing in my own stuff. So while we're on TV shows, the next one I will show you is the Friends Tarot. Love this deck. I'm so glad I have this deck. This is another one. I'm not sure if it's in print or not. The cardstock on these decks, these are by, I don't think I said one single creator of any of the decks that I've shown, which I'm not reshooting this. So hopefully you can just search them up and see. This is Smith Street Gifts. And like I said, I don't even know if this is still in print or not, but this is another one that I can hear these characters, because I watched this from beginning until it ended in these readings and in these cards. And I like to use this deck for others, like if they're like really wanting to know about relationships, any type of relationships. It doesn't have to necessarily be romantic, any type of relationship, friendship, co-worker, neighbor, whatever. This deck is a great reader for that. And I pull it out all the time. I'll even do readings for myself using this deck, and I love it. Another show-based tarot is my Game of Thrones tarot, and everybody has seen this deck. This is the original on the linen cardstock, so it's dark. I'm pretty sure that they remade this deck, but I think someone said on a different cardstock. This one kind of sticks together. I got mad at this deck for a while. I love the Game of Thrones. We watched every single episode. We watched the off series, you know, that sprung up from the Game of Thrones, and loved them. I got mad at this deck, and I put it away and didn't use it for a while. Because so much of the character was coming through in the readings, and some of these people are not good people, and I had to, I couldn't read with it for a while, and then I got it back out, and I slowly started working with it, and taking my time with the readings, and had a little bit of space in between watching the show, you know, and doing readings with this deck, and I did much better with it. So, but this deck is, oh, it is fabulous. Fabulous. So, I don't know what the new cardstock is. Someone will have to let me know in the comments. So the next deck I'm going to show is the Tinseltown Tarot. Peek into the future through the golden age of Hollywood. So while it's not necessarily based on a specific show, it is based with, you know, like 1950s or, you know, 40s maybe. I think more 50s Hollywood. And that's what I picked it up for. This is another one that, man, she'll call you out. This is a she. She will call you out on your diva behavior and be like, yeah, who do you think you are? Kind of deck. That's the readings that I get from this. Is she's going to say to you, who do you think you are? Because I don't see it that way. But I love it. There's certain cards in here that are really pippish that I don't like. Like, okay, so this is one. 10 of Cups is another. 4 of Wands, it's a little, you know, pippish. I don't even know if I've shown this on my channel. And this doesn't come with a guidebook either. So, you know, if you don't know your tarot, then it may be a little more difficult with the way some of it is. Here's another kind of pippish 5 of Wands. I mean, I like that Knight of Swords. It shows movement, his tie's flying behind him, so you know he's going pretty fast. But yeah, this deck definitely does not tolerate diva behavior at all. So my last 2 decks, I would say, are more on the modern side, and this is the Good Karma Tarot. I love this deck. I got this deck after seeing it on Lisa Pepez's. I have a very similar taste in tarot to Lisa. So I usually really like a lot of the decks that she talks about on her channel. So I just love this one. This is such a fantastic reader. I like the diversity that's in it, which I haven't really been talking about too much, but it just is. It's like everyday things. These people are doing everyday things in here. Like I said, more modern, and it is just, it's fabulous. And my clients really, really like this deck. So, yeah, everyone's seen this one. It's just a great one. So the last deck I am going to show for today's is the Real Talk Tarot. And every time I go to open this deck, I want to try to open it the wrong way. This is another really like modern style deck. Or modern style images. This is another one that has modern style images depicted for the card. I think there was just a couple on here that I was like, okay, maybe not the greatest, but it'll do. So, and it's another fantastic reader. I did lots of client readings with this one. Always spot on. Well, I guess it's not the cards that are spot on, but you know, whatever. So I don't like this full. I don't like that one. But yes, I really do enjoy this deck. There's diversity in this one too. I thought there was disability diversity in here, but I don't see it, but I think there is. So that is all for today. And one more video of this shelf, and then this shelf is done, and then we go to the 3 little boxes at the bottom, and then this whole entire cabinet will be done. As you can see, I don't have nearly as many tarot as I do oracle. Gosh, I think I've already said that in another video, so I apologize for that repeat. Let me know out of the decks I showed today what you have, how you use them. Do you like them? Is there a specific thing that you use them for? Is there ones that I showed that you decluttered and why you didn't get along with them? Would love to have a discussion with you in the comments about that. I hope you're still sticking with me in this series of my tarot cabinet, because it's a little bit more involved than I actually expected it to be. And man, hats off to all of you out there that show your collection on a regular basis, because I don't know if I could do that. I really don't know if I could do that. So thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate you being here. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see the rest of this collection, subscribe. And until I see you next time, bye.